We will now learn about moment generating functions, which will be useful in characterizing the random variable. Actually, these MGF or moment generating function will provide an alternative way to characterize random variables. So normally you need the CDF or PDF to accurately characterize or completely characterize random variables. But MGF sometimes give an alternative rule where you can compute many analytical results in, using MGF only instead of using PDF or CDF. We will see some examples of these cases where computing with MGF is way easier than computing with CDF or PDF. And one interesting result which we will see also is the MGF of two random variables is, if it is same, then they have the same distribution. So this is also a unique characterization. It means that if two random variables have same distribution, like same CDF, then they will have the same MGF. And also if they have the same MGF, it means they will have the same distribution. So it's a unique property of a random variable. So how is MDF defined? MGF of a random variable x is given as expectation of e to power tx. And we denote it using mxt. So the subscript x denotes the random variable of which we are computing the MGF, and t is a variable. So this is a MGF is not a single number, it is also a function of t. So we can write down its expectation for discrete random variable and continuous random variables by using the definition of expectation. For discrete random variable, this expectation can be computed by taking the summation over all values in the range of x. You take the value, which is etx, multiply by the probability that random variable takes this value x. For continuous random variable, this summation will be integration and will be given as integration from the whole range e to power tx into PDF multiplied by dx, which denote the probability that random variable takes value in this interval around, small interval around x. So let us see one example where we will compute the MGF of a random variable. Let x be a exponential random variable with parameter lambda. So the PDF for this is given as fxx is equal to lambda into e power minus lambda x. And this is only true for x greater than 0. So the MGF will be computed from a integration from minus infinity to plus infinity e to power tx fxx dx. Now this PDF only takes value in the positive axis. So this will be from 0 to infinity e to power tx, and then this PDF will be lambda e to power minus lambda x dx. Lambda will be outside. You can club these two terms to get e to the power x t minus lambda dx. Now you can simply compute the integration very easy of this exponential distribution, and you will get 1 upon 1 minus t by lambda. So this is a function of t, and it is the form of 1 minus t by lambda. So if you change the value of lambda, you will get a different function. So how is this useful? Suppose someone tells me that if x is a random variable whose MGF is given as 1 upon 1 minus t by 2, then we know that because this MGF is also the MGF of an exponential random variable with parameter 2, this means the x would have the same distribution as that exponential with parameter 2. This means that x is a random variable, exponential random variable with parameter 2. So just looking at the MGF also, we can certainly say what will be the distribution of x. So in this regard, it will be helpful if we remember the form of different random variables MGF. So if we ever encounter these MGF, we will know what is the distribution of the random variable. And this can be computed similarly very easily. So the MGF of Bernoulli random variable with parameter p is given as 1 minus p plus p e to power t. For binomial distribution of parameter n and p, MGF is given by Bernoulli's to the power n. So this is Bernoulli MGF and you take power n. For Poisson random variable, the MGF is given by e to power minus lambda e to power t minus 1. These are for discrete random variable. Similarly, for uniform continuous random variable, MGF is given by exponential Tb minus exponential Ta divided by Tb minus A. For Gaussian, it is given as exponential of mu t plus sigma square t square by 2. Mu is the mean and sigma square is the variance. And for gamma random variable, it is given as 1 minus t by lambda to power minus A. And you can notice it is very similar to the exponential random variable MGF, but in exponential random variable, it is 1 here. So what we can understand that if I put A equal to 1, I will get the exponential random variable MGF. This means that the gamma random variable with A equal to 1 is an exponential random variable. They have the same distribution. So what is the use of MGF? First one, we know that it is used to uniquely characterize the random variable. If I know the MGF, I can tell the distribution of it. We will also see some examples where MGF calculation can be really easy. And if you look at the expression of MGF, then you can also see that it is somehow very similar to the Laplace transform of PDF, or similar to the Fourier transform also. So it is also like the same relation or similar relation as a time domain and frequency domain signals have. So there are some examples, some application where calculation with MGF can be easier than the calculation with the PDF. And the third example which I'm going to talk about here is that MGF can be used to compute moments. What are moments? E of expectation of x is known as mean. It is called the first moment. Similarly, E of x square is the second moment. E of x cube is the third moment. For any m, e to power x, E of expectation of x to power m is called the mth moment. And this moment's value can tell how much x is changing. MGF can be used to compute the moments of a random variable, and that is why it is called actually moment generating function. It can be used to generate moments. A result says that the nth moment of a random variable is nothing but the nth derivative of its MGF, evaluated at t equal to 0. So if you know MGF, you differentiate it n times, and whatever result you get, you put t equal to 0, that will be your nth moment. We will see an example of this. We'll see first how the proof is there. So we will start with, for a continuous random variable, we will start with its definition that the MGF of a random variable is given as integration of for the complete real line ETX PDF into dx. Now we will differentiate this moment genetic function one time. So the derivative with respect to t would be given by differentiation d by dt of this expression. Now integration is a linear operator. So you can take the differentiation inside. There is no t in the limits. So this will just go inside, and what you will get is an integration of differentiation of the inner term. Now this PDF does not depend on t, so only term which depends on t is this. So I have to use the differentiation of this, which is nothing but x into t to the power x, fx dx. Now put t equal to 0. Once you put t equal to 0, this will be just 1, and what you get is x fx dx, which is nothing but the expectation of x. So what we have shown that the first derivative evaluated at t equal to 0 is the expectation. Now if you differentiate it again, same way linear operator will come inside. This is the only term which can be differentiated with respect to t, and what you get is 1 more x into e to the power tx. And when you put t, the etx becomes 1, and what you are left with, integration of x square fx dx, which is the second moment expectation of x square. And similarly, you can show that if you do this m time, you will get the moment x, mth moment of x. MGF can give you moments, and also MGF can be written if I know all the moments. How can we show this? We'll start with the definition of MGF, which is integration of e to power tx into PDF into dx. Now I will use a series of exponential tx, which is given as 1 plus tx t square x square 2 factorial like this. Now this integration is a linear operator, so I can break this into 1 of integration fx dx plus t into x fx dx plus t square by 2 factorial integration of x square fx dx like this. So first term 1, and then integration of fx dx will be just 1. Integration of x fx dx will be expectation of x, which we call m1. Second term would be t square by 2 expectation of x square, which I'm calling the second moment m2, and like this. So here mi is the ith moment. So you can see that you get MGF in terms of a series made from all moments. So if I know all the moments, I can construct MGF. And if I know MGF, I can know all the moments. So we just notice this point that we don't just know few moments, we know all the moments, and that is how we are able to characterize the random variable correctly. Many distribution, if you just know 1 or 2 moment, that is not enough, because there can be two distribution which has the same first two moments but different higher order moments. But here I know all the moments if I know MGF. Now we will see one example where MGF can be used to compute the distribution of sum of random variables. So we'll start with the general result. Suppose x1, x2, x3, xn are n independent random variables and they are identical. Identical means they all have the same MGF. This means the MGF of xi t is equal to mxt, where x is also the same distribution and same for all random variables. So they have all same distribution, so there is no I in the right hand side. Now let us define a new random variable which is a function of all those random variables and is given as summation of xi. So it is x1 plus x2 plus x3 up to xn. And suppose I want to compute the distribution of this random variable. How can I compute this? So I'll start with the MGF of z. So we know E of Sz is equal to E of S into summation of xi. And this exponential summation you can break it into product of EXI. Now I will apply expectation. So you can say expectation of ESZ is equal to expectation of product of individual EXIs. And this expectation is with respect to all random variables up from x1 to xn. Now, since we have assumed that xi's are independent, we have seen this result that if there are independent random variables, you can take expectation inside the product. So E of this product is equal to product of E of EXIs. Moreover, we know this expectation is with respect to all random variables x1 to xn, but this is only a function of xi. So we have also seen this result that if there are many random variables, but the function whose expectation you are trying to calculate is of function of only few random variables, then you don't have to take the expectation with respect to all random variables. You can just take the expectation with respect to those random variables and they will give you the same result. So here this expectation can be also understood as expectation with respect to xi only. So expectation of EXI with respect to xi is nothing but the MGF of xi, which is equal to this because they're all same. So MGF of z is equal to product of msec x, and because they're all same, this will be nothing but just mxx to the power n. Where can we apply this result? Suppose xi is a Bernoulli random variable with parameter p, then the MGF of this xi is equal to, can be computed this way. The range is just 0 and 1, and you have to compute exponential xx into probability that x takes that value. So it takes only two values, so this will be equal to e to power 0 into s into probability that x is 0 plus e to power x 1 into s into probability that x is 1. So this will be equal to 0, 1 term will be this e to power 0 into 1 minus p, and then 1 would be term would make p into e to power s. And if you add this, you will get 1 plus p e s minus 1. So if I take a random variable, which is summation of n random variables, what I get is the MGF object is equal to this to power n, which is 1 plus p e to power s minus 1 to the power n. Okay, so this will be the MGF of the summation of n Bernoulli random variables. If you try to compute this using normally, this will also give you same result, but you will see the expression can be little bit, the method can be little bit complicated. One thing we can also notice that this form is exactly equal to the MGF of a binomial distribution of parameter p and n. So what does this tell us? This tells us that this z is nothing but a binomial random variable of parameter n and p. So from this we can directly calculate that the summation of n Bernoulli random variable has the distribution of a binomial random variable or it's a binomial random variable with parameter n and p. We will also see one more example. Suppose x1 and x2 are both Gaussian random variables. x1 is a Gaussian random variable with mean mu1 and variance sigma 1 square, and x2 is a Gaussian random variable with mean mu2 and variance sigma 2 square. So their MGF will be given by these two. Now, if I want to calculate the MGF of the summation of these two random variables, summation of two Gaussian random variables, I can calculate it by the expression we have seen. The MGF of G is equal to the product of two MGFs. So here they will be equal to this multiplied by this. And this product can be written as mu1 plus mu2s plus 1 half sigma 1 square plus sigma square s2 square. So this you can understand, this is nothing but the MGF of a Gaussian random variable with mean mu1 n plus mu2 and variance sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square. What we can say from this result? We can say that the summation of two Gaussian random variable is also a Gaussian random variable with mean as the summation of the mean of the two and the variance also the summation of the variance of the two random variables. If you try to calculate it using normal method, you have to calculate first the CDF of Z, which will be given by the probability that G is less than or equal to some value T, and then that will be computed by the integration of joint distribution of x1 and x2 over all the values of x1 comma x2 where their summation is less than or equal to T. And it may be a little bit involved, although you will get the same answer. We will also learn about one more example. Here I want to compute the distribution of sum of random number of random variables. So earlier we were adding n random variables. Here we are adding a random number of random variables. So let's start with a n, which is a random variable. N is a discrete random variable, and specifically we assume that n takes integer values. So n can only be 1, 0, 1, 2, 3 like this, and it has some distribution. What kind of distribution you can think of? Poisson is one distribution which takes value on the integer. Another can be binomial. So given n, there are n random variables x1, x2 up to xn. Because n is a random variable, the number of these random variables are also random. So if n is 2, I will take two random variables x1, x2. If n is 4, I will take four random variables, and I will add them to get g. So g is the summation of all those n random variables. So it's a random sum of random variables. I want to compute a distribution of this z. So I proceed with the MGF of z. The MGF of z is given by this term. And here there are n plus 1 random variable. One is n, and then there are x1 up to xn. And this expectation is computed with respect to all random variables, because the term e to power z depends on all those n plus 1 random variables. So this expectation is computed by exponential of s summation of xi's, which is sz, and then expectation with respect to all random variables which are involved in this expression. So n and x1 up to xn. We sometimes denote this also by this notation. This means it's a set of all random variables from 1 to n, and I want to compute expectation with respect to this and this. Now I will use the law of total probability of, or the expectation conditional probability chain law, which means that I can break this integration into two parts. One is condition on n, and then once I get an expression in terms of n, which is also a random variable and a function of n, I will take it expectation with respect to that random variable n. One thing we also noticed that, as in the previous case, we can write this exponential of summation as product of exponentials. So the inner term would be the condition on n given n, the expectation of this with respect to all random variables, and then the outer term is the expectation with respect to n. Let's solve the inner one first, and what we'll see is, first of all, condition on n, these random variables are independent. I am assuming these random variables are independent. In that case, we can use the result that you can take the expectation inside the product. So this will be equal to product of expectation of this term with respect to random variables given n. If they are not independent, then we cannot, of course, do this step. So from this step onward, we will apply result that if this random variable is only a function of xi, then we don't have to take expectation with respect to all random variables. We only have to take expectation with respect to those random variables which are involved in this function. What is involved in this function? Only xi. So this means this expectation can also be equal to expectation of the term with respect to xi given n. We also know that xi's are independent of n. So conditioning on n, it will not affect the distribution. So E of xi given n is nothing but expectation of this term with respect to xi. And this is nothing but the mgf of x. So regardless of xi, all terms will give you the same mgf. So once you put this back here, you will get the product of n mxx, which will be nothing but mxx to power n. This was the inner term. Now we will put it back into the original expression where we have to take the expectation with respect to n. If you put it back, this will be equal to the mgf of z is equal to expectation of mxx to power n with respect to n. Now n is a discrete random variable. Suppose its PMF is given by this, then this expectation can be computed as this value weighted by the probability PMF of n, and then summing over all values n can take. So this is for a general case. Let's consider suppose n is a Poisson random variable with parameter lambda, which means that its PMF is given by this. The probability that n takes value I is equal to lambda I e to the power minus lambda divided by I factorial. So if we compute the mgf of g for this particular n, what we get is mzs is equal to summation of PMF into mxs to power n. I will put the PMF here to get this is expectation summation over from all value 0 to infinity of mxs to power n lambda n e to the power lambda upon n factorial. I can combine these two terms together and take e to the power minus lambda outside to get e to the power minus lambda sigma mxx and mxs lambda to the power n divided by n factorial. I can apply the exponential series to get this is equal to exponential mxx lambda, and then there was the exponential minus lambda. If you combine these two terms, you get exponential of lambda mxx minus 1. If you knew the distribution of mgf of x, you can put it here and you can get the mgf of the summation of this. Similar to mgf, there is another characterization which is pgf, probability generating function, and it is given in the following format. This function gxz of a random variable x is given as e to power a expectation of z to power x.